I wish I would have laser focused entirely on final expense. Okay, so, and I did. A lot of these things I did correct from the beginning, but as I thought I was getting more intelligent and as I knew this business and how simple it was, that I could get more, that I was smart enough to kind of overcome some of these things, which ultimately failed. Okay, hopefully that will make more sense in a minute. But one of them was, hey, I'm going out here, I'm selling final expense. This is like 6 or 12 months in. Man, I'm selling final expense. Everybody I see has got a Medicare Advantage plan. They've got a Medicare supplement plan. I need to sell Medicare Advantage. I need to sell Medicare supplements. I didn't sell Medicare Advantage. I just sold Med Supps. But I spent a lot of time thinking that there's got to be more than just final expense that I could get involved in. And I wanted to offer different products to my people and even potentially do some side business in just that particular mode, and then maybe sell final expense leading with Medicare supplements or something like that. The problem I ran into is I don't necessarily have a problem with the idea of cross-selling or doing other products in addition to final expense. I realized that being a newbie, you understand that this business is simple, but it's not easy. And many times when we get distracted by what I call the silver bullet principle, or the shiny object syndrome, really is what it is. The shiny object syndrome. Well, what it'll do is it'll make you have the same experience for a particular time over and over and over again. You never grow because you're constantly distracted away from what your primary product is that you're offering, and you never really grow beyond your only minimal experience giving something your full commitment. And it's hard for people to understand that, especially if they get started. It's easier once you've screwed up a couple of times and have had honest self-reflection. The thing is that earlier on, final expense was simple, it's easy. You think it's easy because it's simple, it's not, as I've established, but you think, well, therefore, because it's simple, I can start doing other things in addition to this. And what happened with me, at least, and what I see a lot of other agents do, is they get where they got too much going on, and they lose effectiveness, not just in the first thing that started in final expense, but also in the other. And they can't be a slave to two different masters. And what happens is they're no good at any of it, or they're marginal, and they don't get great results. I kind of had a similar situation like that, where I went out there and did a little Medicare supplement business, probably, I think it was in the first year. Didn't like it, didn't really care for it. Did too much research trying to figure out how I could get transitioned into that or picking it up, and all the while it detracted from my final expense sales. Again, I repeat, this is not some sort of rant on why you shouldn't do anything but one particular product. It's just that you have to understand that learning takes time, and mastery takes time. It takes commitment, and commitment requires ups and downs. That's the thing that a lot of people don't understand today, is that we get frustrated with the results that we experience. But that's all, in the scheme of things, where hindsight is 20/20, of course, that's all part and parcel to becoming a master at something. And you cannot, not everybody has, some people have the capacity, but very few people have the capacity to become a super master of multiple products in a short period of time. And so, therefore, looking back as I do now, and there's a couple other things I'll glean into here in a minute, mastering final expense, not just for a 6-month period of time, but for my entire career, should have been my primary focus for all of it. Again, it really became that way after a year or two, after I failed out of the business and realized what I was doing wrong and my own brain getting in the way. But ultimately, if I would realize that if I could just totally dial in the final expense, but also see what the potential is as far as the income earning opportunity, which we'll talk about in a little while, then I probably wouldn't have gotten distracted and potentially taken myself out of, or to some extent affected myself from coming out of the business. So I hope that kind of makes sense. It's really important to be committed. And that's kind of the thing. And it doesn't matter if it's final expense, it doesn't matter if it's Medicare supplements or voluntary payroll deduct business. I don't care. What I care about is that if you're going to do something, you might as well be the best at it. And any kind of product, even if it is simple, takes time and commitment to ups and downs and the experiential effect of the people you deal with and the interactions and questions they have before you do become a master. And it's at that point when you do master something that I frankly don't mind if an agent builds into their repertoire Medicare Advantage sales, which is a great cross-sell or ancillary product to sell in addition. It's just it takes time and it takes process, and you need to give yourself that opportunity to really overcome that.